So if you heard us on the crossover, as we welcome back into the Gary Sharp Show, the tease that has been going on from the Husker Athletic Department about a 255 announcement today. Tom William Osborne collection. Hats, shirts, I think I saw hoodies. It'll be announced at 255. That is the number of wins that TO had here. Proceeds from the collection go to teammates. What I saw of it, it's got a logo that a lot of people have seen, and some of this gear is already out there that has been in some of the Husker shops around the area for a week or so. But at 2:55 this afternoon, they'll unveil it, and we'll see who purchases it. It's very classy. What we have here behind the scenes at the Gary Sharp Show and at the Zone is some people call and they don't want to go on the air. They would just like to have a discussion with the producer. So Chance, on his own, is having his own show.
Yeah.
The latest caller wanted to know what? Because that was quite the animated discussion you two were having.
Would you like me to say who it is?
No.
Okay. He said that Nebraska, it's going to be the War of 1812. The score is going to be 18-12.
Thank you for not putting him on air. So essentially, it'll be a field goal kicking game where we will, I imagine, come close to setting a record of 10 field goals kicked in the game. No touchdowns, all field goals. 18-12. Okay. John writes into the Equitable Bank inbox, is 31-17 real progress? That's as of right now on a Thursday, that's how I'm feeling, is a 31-17 type game. Is 31-17 real progress if 7 of 14 points are scored by the defense and they continue with 30-yard punts and miss field goals? Why do you always assume the worst, John? I think the defense will continue to do what they have. This is not a dynamic offense. If the defense struggles, they've done it to themselves. It hasn't been anything that Northwestern schemes up with Helinski. They don't have a couple of wide receivers. They have Evan Hull. Now, Evan Hull has got some big numbers. Their running back, if you look on the stat sheet, he's 8th in the country in rushing at 478 yards so far in 4 games. He's close to 8 yards per carry. But against Michigan State and Duke, 2 Power 5 teams, those numbers are not as strong. I mean, people would probably lose their mind on Saturday night if the special teams created points. If there was a punt return or a kick return or a turnover that was forced during special teams. That might elicit the biggest response in the entire stadium. But progress is not dilly-dallying around. Michigan State and Oklahoma are on a different level than Northwestern is. Progress is if you continue to play at the level you played, not perfect by any means, but played hard for 60 minutes, found a way to at least plug one of the holes that has ailed you. You're playing a team that is not, again, Michigan State or Oklahoma. You have to respect them because of the past. In Northwestern, I think Pat Fitzgerald gets jazzed up to play Nebraska, and he might have something new. But progress looks like, okay, the spread says Nebraska is a 10.5-point favorite. Well, Nebraska wins by 10.5. And it's not a late score to win 31-17 type game. It's a game for me to look at progress. Now, this is me speaking. To look at progress, you get off to a good start. You find a way to get out of the gates early. It's of all the numbers, the good numbers and the bad numbers that you look through for the first 5 games for Nebraska. One of the numbers that I stare at is against Power 5 teams. Nebraska hasn't scored a touchdown in the first quarter. They've got a field goal at Oklahoma. The numbers in the first quarter for Nebraska, you can't make up. And that's supposed to be the quarter where you get off to a good start because those are scripted plays. Those are your go-to plays. Again, Nebraska's been their own worst enemy in the first quarter, but the fact that they have not scored against Power 5 a touchdown in the first quarter. How? But I still contend if you win the toss again, defer, take the ball in the third quarter, put your defense out there, to begin the game. All right, Jacob Padilla is coming up here in just a little bit from Hale Varsity. A little bit later, we'll do some fantasy football as we reach week number 4 of the NFL season. I have made my survivor pick. I have made it through 3 weeks. I think this year has been fairly good for survivor picking. There have not been one game or 2 games that have eliminated most of your pool if you are in a survivor pool. But I have made my pick, and I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I will tell you who it is a little bit later. Jacob Dill is coming up next on the Gary Sharp Show on 1620 The Zone.